Well, OpenAI released Sora, and everybody all over the world is beginning to generate their own AI videos from Sora. Now, the launch was a little bit chaotic. They had to shut down the subscriptions for new accounts, so you couldn't actually log in and start a new Sora account simply because of how many people were trying to log in and generate the various videos at the same time. However, now it's looking like it's a little bit better. Here's sort of a stream of all the recent videos that were made by Sora users. I'm sure there's some sort of a filtering process going on. I'm sure it's not just like every single video that you see. But for example, you can see here, this is like one user generating 3 videos. So this is another user generating several videos in a row. So this is just a sort of live stream, a feed of all the different videos that people are using. So this is pretty much not cherry-picked, kind of a slice of what Sora is capable of. As you can see here, some of them are a little bit weird, like this elephant running away from a car coming behind it. What was a dash cam view? Here's a Ferrari, looks like driving backwards for some reason. But for the most part, these are looking pretty good. There's even this writing in cursive that you can clearly read Newton's second law. Here's some sort of a multi-dimensional vortex spinning within a teacup. So as you can see, they're pretty good. Now, I wouldn't say that it's the best right from the get-go. We've seen some really good videos generated by, for example, Kling AI, the Chinese company. But all in all, it is impressive. It's very high quality. So as you can see here, you can describe your video. So for example, you can say pirate ship floating over the city. And we have a couple of different options here. So first of all, we can upload our own image and it will generate the video from that image. We have certain presets as well as a way to make your own. So for example, here we have cinematic, film, balloon world, archival, film noir, cardboard, and papercraft. 3 aspect ratios, 6:69, kind of the horizontal. We have the 9:16, the vertical, and 1:1 square. 480p, 720p, and 1080p for the resolutions. Duration 5, 10, 15, or 20 seconds. And you can also choose how many variations you want it to come up with. 1, 2, or 4. Now you have credits. So for example, just if you want to kind of get an idea for how many credits you can sort of get away with using. So just one variation of 5 seconds at 480p will cost you 25 credits. You want to double the number of variations, that will cost you double the amount of credits. You want to go to 10 seconds, that will double the amount of credits, etc. If you do the square video, it's a little bit cheaper as well. But let's take this 25 credits at 5 seconds, one variation, switch that to 1080. That comes out to 200 credits. So as you can see, quite a big leap there. So as you can see, some of these are beginning to look really good. Ancient alien jungle landing, a crab crawling on the beach up close, super realistic. I would say, yeah, this is looking super realistic. A dramatic close-up shot of Napoleon Bonaparte leading his army in Egypt. Very, very cool. Well, that guy's, his head is on backwards, but other than that, that's too bad. Not too bad. We have some World War I footage, a soldier face covered in mud, huddled in a trench. Certainly, I feel like it nailed that prompt. A woman with a face made of many long moving fingers crumbles into a pile of white dust. Wow, that's a hard prompt and it kind of nails it. It's kind of disturbing. I mean, are those fingers or tentacles? I mean, certainly you can kind of tell they're meant to be fingers, but not bad for the difficulty of the prompt. I gotta say that's not too bad. Here's an ant crossing a tiny mossy water stream. That's really good. A female sorcerer reads your tarot cards. That's pretty cool. Very high fidelity. Notice the cards. You can see very clearly the images on those cards. An ancient galley swimming in a bay towards a small Roman coastal hillside town. That's looking beautiful. So here we are looking at the featured videos. So these are the kind of cherry-picked ones. These are the ones that OpenAI, somebody behind the scenes, is slowly sort of filtering through, trying to show us the best case scenarios. This is another one, close-up of an astronaut riding on a white horse. Classic. We got this beautiful, majestic train winding through the stunning Alps. Now, it's not moving. It would be very cool to see it kind of head down the mountain, but it's kind of still as far as I can tell. But getting back to our ability to create videos, here they are. So we have, let's say 16:9, 1080p, 5 seconds. Let's do one variation. At 1080, you can only do one. We'll go ahead and click create video, and that gets added to our queue. There are other ways to create these videos, for example, with a storyboard. So here's what that's looking like. So for example, here we can add images or we can add text to make it sort of do whatever we want it to do. For example, let's describe the first scene. For example, pirate ship floating over city. Then somewhere, a few seconds in, let's say 2.5 seconds, halfway through the video, we have scene 2. Here, we're going to have something else happen. A pirate jumps overboard and parachutes towards the city. So in the sort of best case scenario, we're going to see, the first 2.5 seconds as that ship, and then 2.5 seconds in, we're going to see that pirate jump out. Let's see how well it does with that. We can also start with the videos that we have already created and then use text to create sort of the follow-up. For example, let's say we have these guinea pigs eating the strawberry, right? We'll add that as sort of the beginning of the scene, and somewhere halfway through, actually, let's extend it to 10 seconds. Let's drop down the quality a little bit. That'll allow us to actually take it to the entire 20-second length. And then right around second 5, I'm going to say the animals start fighting. By the 10th second, the brown and white one wins and eats the strawberry. Let's see what it does with that. One very cool feature is the ability to cut or recut some of these things that you want into either longer videos or shorter videos or a few other things that you can do with it. So for example, let's take this scene, and this is some sort of a elegance at Kunsthalle Gallery. All right, so we're going to click recut, and this is going to allow us to change some of the things in the video, like for example, the aspect ratio. Let's bump up the resolution a little bit, and as you can see here, one of the presets is archival. So it's kind of that old school sort of old-timey look. But let's change that from archival to film noir, and let's click create. All right, so here is our pirate ship floating over the city. That's pretty cool. Definitely seems to have nailed it. Very realistic looking pirate ship. Notice how it captures the 3D elements. It does sort of all the sails and everything else kind of rotates correctly as the camera hands past it. And here is our pirate parachuting adventure. So this is where the pirate is supposed to be jumping out of the pirate ship about halfway through. Well, this one's a little bit off, but not quite what we were looking for. Here's that original guinea pig video, the guinea pig's strawberry snack. Looking really, really good. Here's a recreation of that sort of original Sora video that we saw, sort of somewhere, something that looks like Tokyo, a woman in a dress walking across the street. Here's the same take, but with a dog this time. We have a dog playing the piano. He's, or trying to. I mean, it's close. He hit a few buttons there, but a dog exploring various city views. That's pretty good. Okay, so he ends up... Wow, that lost me there a little bit. So it sounds like he's on the street, but then he goes somewhere and now he's inside going through the door that doesn't have any glass on it, and he's back on the street. I mean, it looks good, a little bit incoherent with this transition, but I mean, pretty cool nevertheless. This is kind of a weird shot. Not sure what we're looking at here. It seems like a cell phone camera footage, kind of dark and gritty. Vikings on a voyage. That's looking really, really solid there. A panther on volcanic terrain. That's more of a house cat, but still pretty cool. We have a city under siege. So the people walking down the street look kind of calm, even though there's a miniature tank rolling around and fire in the background. But yeah, here we have a majestic dog in a storm. During escape challenge. Very action-packed shot there. Explosions. Wow, he is the explosion. He is the storm. Wow. Okay, pretty cool. We have a live shot of an epic mountain cycling adventure. That's looking pretty cool. Definitely looks like one of those actual races. I mean, this one looks a little bit off, but certainly this and this are looking very, very realistic. Cozy Christmas cats. Pretty cool. Here's a cozy cafe moment. Very, very good looking. The way that she's like gripping the cup is a little bit weird, a little bit insane grip on the cup there. But other than that, everything's looking good. The tables and the chairs all have the proper number of legs, which is a great, great start. Here's one called Neon Night Reflections, very up close on a girl's face. Very detailed, very, very lifelike. This one's going to give you nightmares. It's a beached whale retreat. So it's a beached whale on the outside. But once you step inside, it's a nice, cozy little place with lighting and don't think about it too hard. Don't think about what that would smell like inside. It's cozy. It's a retreat. That's all you have to worry about. But that's pretty weird. Here we have beach sunset vibes. Again, like everything is looking very, very good. Blurred background, great reflections off of the sunglasses. Everything's looking really good. I mean, you can barely tell that it's not real video. That's AI generated. Like there's some funkiness in the glasses and the eyes behind it. But other than that, it's looking stellar. Here's a dragon attacks cityscape. That's pretty cool. So it does look like he's destroying a building or something like that. Very realistic looking dragon, a little bit of a low resolution, but you can actually adjust that. Here's a zooming out from the eyes of a Korat cat sitting in front of the Wat Arun temple in Thailand. That's the eyes, the cat, that's looking really good. Here's a horde of bears charges into an abandoned house. I mean, it certainly does seem like a lot of bears. A first-person perspective, a video of snowboarding through a snowy forest trail. The forest is dense and completely covered with snow. I mean, this is looking great. Here's a video of freight truck driving on an icy road in Alaska delivering freight. That's looking really, really good. Other than the little shimmering, it looks very real. Here's a pretty cool shot of going through what appears to be a train station, just kind of zooming between the people. So it's a train station of some sort. Looking great. That's a 10-second long shot. Live from CNN, Starbucks going out of business. And I'm not sure is he in, so it appears like he's on set, then he's at Starbucks, then he disappears. Wow, there's a lot of things going on here, but all right, Starbucks going out of business. A flower rainfall inside of somebody's mouth. I don't know what the prompt is here, but wow, those are some scary looking teeth. A lot of scary looking stuff here, actually. Pug on the moon. An astronaut French bulldog explores the moon. French bulldog. For those of you that enjoyed the mouth of flowers, here's another take on that motif. Something very, very strange about. And now it appears there's a mustache. Wow. There's so many things weird here. And what is that? Okay. Here's a missing corn protest. They're saying, where's the corn? Where's the corn? Where's the maize? And no peace, as in no corn, no peace. The classic poker-faced dogs playing poker. That's, I don't know what happened there, but before that, everything was going very well. He threw his paw up in the air and it disappeared. But yeah, other than that, everything looks great. This is kind of a great shot. So a man waving out of the driver's side of a Jeep. So, well, the wheel is funky. It's kind of rotated. But other than that, everything's looking fairly realistic. A shot of a man driving a car. He looks very intense. He looks like he's about to lose his mind. But other than that, everything's great. The background scenery looks really good. The trees, the blurred buildings, you know, the grip on the steering wheel, and the steering wheel itself looks a little bit off. But man, I mean, this is so close to reality. Here's what I think is looks like a horror movie. I'm sure it's not supposed to be, but something about this, oh dear God. Okay, it is a horror movie. Wow. That's weird. We're not going to replay that. Here's a dog surfing. So the ones that we're seeing right now, most of them are not the sort of featured images. So it's not the best of the best. These are sort of just the flow of user-generated ones that kind of appear in a random order. I mean, these are not bad, I gotta say. I mean, obviously there's some weirdness with the dog morphing, but I mean, it looks pretty good. A woman-only Swedish sauna. Here the prompt is: an African-American witch walks through a magical garden. A Victorian-era child discovering a flaming hot sauce bottle. Wonder, amazement, vintage footage. That's pretty good, I gotta say. This is a very good-looking shot, so we don't know what the prompt is, but man, it's looking good. The reflections are terrific. I'm actually wondering how they did a lot of the reflections that they do here. There's got to be some sort of a, I don't know, like a second model that's doing it or something. Because I've noticed that it renders it in different frames per second. So if you look at the entire image, you see, it's a certain, whatever, 30 frames per second or whatever it is. But the reflection looks like it's less. It looks like it's, I don't know, 5, 10 frames per second, whatever that is. It's a little bit more choppy. And I've noticed that across multiple different videos. The reflections, especially the reflections of light sources, tend to be almost, it looks like it's rendered in a lower frames per second. So here's kind of what I mean by that. So this was, notice it's 4 different videos, 4 different variations of sort of the same theme. But notice that in the beginning of the shot, like here, there's the sun reflected in the water. And eventually you get to the point here where you can see the building kind of cast a shadow over the water. So let me play one of these videos. So as you can see here, it looks like the water reflections are almost like rendered at a much lower frames per second than the rest of the shot. You see how it's like kind of jumping, whereas once you kind of are looking over the buildings, it's pretty smooth. However, in this shot where there's also reflections on the floor and on the desk, I mean, I gotta say, Sora handles reflective surfaces incredibly well. So notice the top of this desk here, right? So it's some sort of a shiny wooden desk. You can see a perfect reflection of the screen. And then as we pan across, we see the reflections of the lamp. We see the reflections of the overhead lighting on the floor, on the desk. That is fairly stunning. I wonder how they do that. Is that just sort of one AI model doing this? Or is there some sort of a tech trickery hidden behind the scenes, I wonder? The reason I say that is because if you recall the AI Doom that was made by Google DeepMind, the sort of one model determined the actual sort of the game. So as you're walking inside of the game world, one model was in charge of doing that. But I believe that they used a separate model to generate the sort of like the health bar and the how much ammo you have and stuff like that in that sort of sidebar on the bottom in that heads up display. I think they mentioned it was a slightly different model, a different AI model doing that. So what if there's something similar happening here with the reflections? Here's another example of absolutely incredible reflections on the floor. Not only are you seeing the windows reflected properly because, so notice how it's reflecting these little, that little gate on the floor. And here it's reflecting this cross gate and the little gates here of this window. So one weird thing I've noticed here is, notice this is a door, right? With the handle pointing the wrong way, but that's fine. So this is a door, and then this is a wall. Now, notice what happens when we go behind the wall. Take a look. So we go behind the wall, and the wall is gone, and the door seems to be gone as well, right? So this wall is invisible from one side. All right. Here's a really good close-up of a monkey's eyes. Really great details here with the little hairs and the textures of the eye. Absolutely incredible. So here's a person doing some sort of variations, maybe of a deadlift perhaps, but with no weights. The weights are racked behind him, or maybe it's a stretch. So I mean, it's kind of showing a certain movement, but that movement doesn't really make sense because he's not holding any weights. But other than that, very close. Here's Abe Lincoln I believe the prompt is delivering a speech. Here's kind of another shot of him on the stage. So yeah, other than his mouth not moving, I mean, the hand gestures seem pretty good, pretty lifelike. Maybe a little bit choppy, but keep in mind, there's actually no footage of this, only old school, old-timey photos. Of course, we have to do our noodles. Noodles is very difficult for these AI video things to generate. We don't really see her interacting with it too much. So it's not bad, but there's got to be a better shot that demonstrates if it's able to handle this consistently. This is called Shark Pool Spectacle. I'll leave it at that. I don't know if that's a shark. That looks almost like a swordfish of some sort, but still. So you may be wondering what happened to all those videos we tried to render earlier. So here's the thing. A lot of them met with unexpected errors. In fact, when I first logged in and started to generate videos, most of them threw up errors and were not able to complete. As you can see, all of these said unexpected error, unexpected error. Then we started generating videos every once in a while, but they still didn't look that good. They didn't look sort of a Sora quality. They were kind of choppy, kind of looked like this. And this, I mean, this isn't quite the level of videos that we expect. However, over time, it started to generate videos better and better and better. A lot of the videos that I tried to generate for this video, specifically the ones where we changed the various aspects of it, like the presets, etc., they also threw unexpected errors. The Bulldog video where I specifically tried to show the various presets, they did not generate with those presets, unfortunately. So it seems like currently using the recut feature with different presets does not seem to work. And as you can see here, 2 more errors. So the reason why I think this is happening is because there are so many people currently trying out Sora that it's just causing issues. With all that said, the videos look really, really good. I am very impressed with how well these videos are generating. The best of the best, sort of the featured videos are absolutely stunning. If you look at the recent tab, they're maybe not quite as good as the featured ones, but nevertheless, very good. You see the type of stuff that people are creating. Some of it phenomenal, some of it a little bit less so. There's certainly a quality range here, but overall, I am very impressed. For everyone that's trying to get their hands on it, I would say if some of the features are not working for you, I would give it a few days for this massive sort of wave to die down, because I feel like certain features are having a hard time. So for example, when I was trying to use recut, remix, blend, etc., those features were kind of hit and miss, oftentimes coming up with errors. The storyboard also sometimes didn't quite do what was expected of it. So maybe that's just a skill issue. Maybe I haven't spent enough time working with it. But one thing that's very obvious to me is the quality of productions since the first sort of hour that the Sora was released to the public. And now it being, maybe 8 hours later, currently this is looking a lot better. The quality of the generations seems to be far, far superior. So we're going to do a follow-up video to this once everything is sort of sorted out, when we're no longer getting this sort of high rate of errors on our prompts, and do a full deep dive into every single one of the promised features, because the features are very exciting. The ability to loop videos, to remix multiple videos, to be able to add our own images and try to recreate them into full videos, or even use our existing videos to make them into AI generated videos. That seems very interesting. So let me know what you think in the comments. Did this exceed your expectation, or perhaps you're a little bit underwhelmed by the quality of these results? Now, keep in mind, this is it's been less than 24 hours since release. They're going to have some problems. OpenAI, a lot of people have their eyes on OpenAI, and certainly the fact that there's a few errors here and there, the fact they had to slow down how many people could sign up, that makes sense. That's bound to happen with massive releases of this nature. To me, I gotta say, with all that said, the prompts and the videos that are good, those are really, really good. And it's the sort of expected Sora quality that we were waiting for. Those mind-blowing videos, yes, they were cherry-picked, but they're not 1 in a million. They're not 1 in 1,000. I would say they're maybe 1 in 10. 1 in 10, 1 in 20 of the videos you generate will come out looking phenomenally, phenomenally good. Also, of course, it's better at some videos than other ones. If you're asking for something really funky, it might have a hard time coming up with that. But there's certain things that it just nails really, really well. Certainly, we've seen something like the Scrab before, and it looks highly realistic. We've seen these moving images from trained windows, and they look really, really good. It's hard to tell that there's any errors here. Aerial shots look great. Insect shots, for the most part, look really, really good. Little objects in the foreground and the background, like the pictures on these cars, for example, remain consistent and look good. So all in all, I am super excited about this. Can't wait to start using it more and more. And I fully expect as some of the issues are ironed out, it's just going to keep getting better and better. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. My name is Wes Roth, and I'll see you next time.